Hey guys, welcome to a Rising Nations tutorial. It's been a while since I've done one of these. It's been a while. My last tutorial was like weeks ago, and it was me teaching how to defend against an evil China or Japan player as Russia. You can go watch it if you want. I have no idea why the dislike ratio is so bad. I mean, people probably just can't take my voice. Anyway, without any other delays, let's actually get into this video. Okay, so first we're gonna start a experiment. Now this is the only experiment that I'm doing that I already know the results of. The reason is because I've tried to film this video 3 freaking times. The first time I tried to film this, I made a big mistake, so I had to restart, and I really didn't feel like doing that. So I tried again a couple hours later, and by then, the game was under attack from exploiters teleporting us to some SCP game. So I couldn't record then because the game was under attack by exploiters. And the third time I tried to record it, the same thing happened. Like, the server refreshed earlier, so I thought it was all good, but no, it wasn't. So 3 times I have tried to record this stupid tutorial. I swear, if nobody sees this, I'm going to be so sad. So anyway, we're still setting up this experiment. I'm almost done. Like for the Poland side, we're going to be testing with our Navy generals. Now we're not going to be using generals for Poland. We're going to be doing the experiment as Germany. I just need to get the test subject ready, Poland. So I'll just cut until I'm ready to do the experiment. Okay guys, never mind. I freaked up with the Navy, so we're just going to do this with infantry instead. In fact, it will actually be easier to do it with infantry. Well, not easier, but it will be quicker. Okay, so we're just going to do this. We're going to be doing an experiment with how troops work. So again, I'll just cut to when I'm ready. Okay guys, so we're just about ready to do this experiment. Now all I have to do is get everything into position, then we can start. Alright, so before we actually start this experiment, we're actually going to show all these new different GUI. Because if you didn't notice, the GUI is slightly changed. What's changed is there's now a well, no, actually, no, this is normal. No, this isn't new. This is new. Factions. Now, because I haven't made any factions on any things, that there isn't really anything. But let's go make a faction, and we will see what happens. Alright, so now if we click it again, we see this blue. Because this is a part of this faction right here. And, you know, the rest of the world isn't a part of a faction. So that's how that works. This next one is ideologies. So we can see from the countries that start out with an ideology, we got, you know, blue for democracy. A dark blue for democracy, should I add. And then there's a light blue for liberalism. I don't know what the color for fascism is, though. Because I haven't seen that. Yeah, we got a communism. Notice how there's a different shade of red for communism and socialism. So yeah, that's all the new map modes. That's really all there is. There isn't a whole lot others. Well, there isn't any others. So they're all part of the same group. So anyway, we got all our stuff ready. We can now begin the experiment. We're gonna first switch to military groups. That way we can see the experience on our general. So we're gonna see which one gets more experience. I realize I haven't even said what the experiment is. We're gonna check 2 different divisions. One that's split up into 2, and the other one that is combined. We're gonna see which one gives more experience. Will they be the same? Will one have more than the other? Who knows? So first we're going to attack. And now we gotta see the experience counts. Can you die? I have a video to record game. Okay, so the army is dead, and we got 483 experience. So now we're going to see how much experience our troops get from attacking with two different divisions like this instead of having one. So we got like 483 or something. I don't know. I'll just probably round it to 500 or something. I don't know. We'll just round it to 480. Alright, what? Okay, now, okay, yeah. The troops got some extra experience for taking the city, for like attacking the city. But it had about 950 when it finished killing that troop. So, when split up, we do the, so when split up, these troops do slightly, get slightly less experience if they're split up like this. So this is a big no-no. This is yes, do this. Get a one big division to fight, and you'll get slightly more experience. Now for Navy, which is what they tested this on, the changes are a lot more drastic. Like you get way less experience with multiple ships than just having one ship. But I guess the difference isn't quite as big with infantry. But still, the difference is there. So yeah, be smart. Okay, with that little mini experiment out of the way, we're now actually going to get into the meat of this update. Now, I did do a bit of exploring already, but like, I haven't gone through everything. So now we're going to go through all of these slides. Diplomatic actions. Now, the diplomatic actions are things as funding rebels, I think, go under there. Declaring war. Well, not declaring war, sorry, justifying war. For example, if we justify a subjugate war against Czech Republic, it says there, it says the date and the justify. That way, it won't cover up the bottom right corner of your screen when you're trying to do things. So that's always good. This also works for liberation and conquest, as we see. My suggestion is to add what type of war. So, like, what if I forgot what type of war I was justifying on the check? Like, I remember it's subjugation, but what if I forgot, you know? So I think that would be a pretty cool touch, not gonna lie. Alright, the next thing we'll be going over is the trades area. So now we're going to open this up like this, click economy, click resources / trade, and boom, your resources thing come here. Now this is an old thing. This has been in the game for months. Although some newer players still don't know. Anyway, so we're going to do trades. So if we sell one piece of iron to the USA, it'll say the country you're selling it to, in this case USA, the flag. It'll say what you're doing. So in this case selling, it'll say the number and then the ore. This works for all other ores in all other countries. So if we sell this copper, let's sell it to the Philippines. Boom. Now we're selling some copper to the Philippines. And also, it'll say how you're trading here too, although that's another old feature. But that is relevant here. Now let's say I want some aluminum. I can buy it. So we click trade. Now this is a bunch of old stuff, but we're exploring it for this tab. So this also works for buying. So you can buy some aluminum from China. You could buy some tungsten from France, etc. Which I think is pretty cool. You know, it shows you all your trades. Not only that, it shows you your resources if we go here. So you can kind of micromanage with what you need without having to go through all these different tabs and scrolling throughout the alphabetic order just to find what you want. You can just pull this up, which is so much more handy. There's a lot less scrolling, and it's right here. All you have to do is click this arrow a couple times. Very, very convenient. So yeah, I like that. I like how this game adds some convenience. So, there's also different generals you can get. You can get different generals for your different needs, and also you can get different generals for this. So this general has 25% defense, 7% extra XP, and 1% extra attack. We click again, let's see what we get. Some 9% attack and minus 3% movement. Now don't forget to assign them to your groups. For example, there's different groups that you can make. So for example, we will do, there we go, create. And now we can assign this one to that. See? You see this? It'll say the experience of the general. Now, when your general reaches the amount of XP that it needs, it will rank up, thus getting its stats better. Now, I've gotten some crazy good generals before. Like, my general, like, I remember I got, like, a general with, like, 80% attack, 50% attack. 50% attack, 80% defense, like 100% movement, and like it was so good. I loved that general. It was because I took so much casualties, and and so did the Mexicans fighting against Mexico as America at one time. Yeah, I got that like yesterday, like when the update first released. That was amazing. Anyway, enough anecdotes and stuff. Oh yeah, another thing that has changed is the map. Do you notice how like the terrain looks a lot different? Like it looks quite a lot different, like the world and stuff. Also, there's a brand new color. The silver white was not a color for countries beforehand. That's a new color that was introduced. It's also here in Tanzania. Yes, more than one country can have the same color. Oh yeah, some people don't notice, but the country you are will always be white on red like this, as shown. They also did a couple border reworks. I'm not quite sure of all of them, but I know one of them is here, Uzbekistan/Kyrgyzstan. As we see here, back then, Uzbekistan owned all this territory here, like all this garbage here, when it in real life belongs to Kyrgyzstan. So that was a little border oopsie Hypern did, and I'm really happy that he fixed it. And yeah, I think I already touched on this, I'm not entirely sure, but you could also make things for like your Air Force and Navy. For example, you can make a Navy one. Now these will be Commodore. For example, this one we got 8% extra defense. So we gotta make another military group. There we go, we made another military group. Now we gotta go put the Sikh, our Sikh thing there. And then we have to make the Navy thing, and then we have to assign it, yada yada. It's pretty cool what this thing can do. So yeah, that's really all this update has to show for. It definitely wasn't one of the bigger updates, like the diplomacy update from that hit like a year ago. Probably longer. I remember being so excited seeing the diplomacy update because that was when Rise of Nations turned from more of like a tycoon roleplay-ish game. Well, I wouldn't even call it roleplay game, but like people were a lot less corny when the diplomacy update came out because that kind of fixed alliances and stuff. That was really cool. Another major update was the factory update, which a lot of, at least the less newer players, like even some of the more newer players will know the factory update. It added all the resources and all of these factories. It was such a major update. Is there any more? But yeah, this update isn't like one of those major updates. But this was still something cool to show, and I enjoyed it a lot. Anyway, I hope you found this at least half useful. I didn't go too much in depth because I'm still exploring this update for myself. But I at least hope this helped a couple people who are a bit confused about how to use generals, as well as I taught you a decent, what not to do. I didn't tell you what to do because I don't really entirely know, but at least I know what not to do. Anyway, peace.